One of us slipped up.
He did it. He did
You
it.
can't say who did it.
No, I'm just kidding. But
You,
one of us. But I'm serious. One of us slipped up.
one of us slipped up.
One of us slipped up. Which one do you think slipped? Let us know in the comments.
We will reveal it to you as
We'll
well
reveal it
as
to you.
why it happened and how we turned it around.
Yes. And we are going to make sure that we share with you what we are doing to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And we didn't give up because we're here. We are still here. We are still fasting. This is day 9, and we are just going to share it with you how this fast that we are doing for spiritual purposes is helping us overcome food addiction, how is challenging our spiritual and our physical life, and helping us to develop self control and making sure that we have a purposeful living. So,
Whether you're on a spiritual journey or not, this fasting is helping us change
yes.
negative mindsets, discover wrong thinking,
Mm-hmm.
um, empowering us to um, do things we didn't think we could do.
That's right.
So there's so many benefits, physical, mental, and spiritual, to this fast.
Yeah, but without further ado, how did you do today on your fast, Brett?
I did really good so far.
Yeah, you went to work and you have a lot of food at work.
Yeah, going to work is challenging because there's free food everywhere.
Hmm.
There's like a whole mini convenience store that I
Hmm.
can grab any kind of chips and bars and sandwiches and all kinds of drinks. And so, thankfully for the drinks, I start out for breakfast with a naked juice. It's like a pressed juice, strawberry banana. That was my breakfast. My
Hmm.
lunch was a Fairlife protein shake, vanilla, already pre made. That was again there in the fridge for me at work, and then water the rest of the time. And I also had another naked drink on the way home. I had the green machine on the way home. So I had strawberry banana for breakfast, green machine as like a pre dinner.
Hmm.
And I may have some soup tonight and water. So
That's
day
good.
9 is good.
Day 9 is good. This I actually slept in today. Well, I woke up, spent time with God. If you don't already know, this started as a fast that we did based on a 21-day fast into and through your next season of fasting and prayer into and through your next season. And it is for our second channel at Influence for Purpose. And we also have the same the same channel in Spanish, Influencia para Propósito. This started for that channel. It was
Yes.
fasting and prayer for us to have strength, courage, and clarity into through this season of our lives, which we are going through. We've done fast before, and we have done this particular fast with these devotions, but this was published on YouVersion. If you don't know YouVersion, it is a free Bible app, and it's there for anyone at any time, for any season, anytime that you are going through something and you just need to focus. That's what this fast started for. But because we have this channel,
We recognize the parallel benefits
correct.
for people battling food addiction.
Exactly.
We are strong believers in the ability to break the diet mentality and
Mhm.
to find a lifestyle with food
Right.
that works for you, not against you, for your mind, your body, your health, all that you want to be, feeling well about. And
Exactly.
so Glenn and I do it differently.
Right. That
Um,
this is what we're called mindful eating, and so mindful eating is individual and very personal.
and so prior to this fast, I'm doing calorie counting. Glenda's doing intuitive eating, high protein, high fat, low carb. I'm not restricting any food groups. I eat sweets and all those kinds of things before the fast, but I just keep a total calorie count for the day, and I may exercise to earn extra calories, that type of thing. So yeah, so this fast, one of the main things is to overcome food addiction. I've already learned in the 9 days of this that I've had a very wrong mindset, even with calorie counting. I always felt like I had to get my sweets in, I had to get certain things in. Now I've gone so many days without food that I realize it's very easy for me to just be okay with skipping things on certain days and not having to have desserts and not having to have, you know, use up all my calories, whatever it is. So I've already learned that. There's definitely been physical benefits, cleansing digestively. Energy levels have still been up, even though there's been a lack of food intake. Um, Waking up before the alarm, even though it's at 6 instead of 7, that's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely developing self control.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, just the taking the minus of the distraction of food allows so much more time for introspection, for really sitting with your thoughts and emotions and discovering areas in your life that you can grow. Definitely speaking for myself. One of the ones that came up yesterday was my tendency to blame others for things, and my realization that I just need to stop that, period.
Mm-hmm.
Take ownership or don't even focus on that area. So there's been a lot that's already come out, and we're not even halfway there.
Right. So for me, I am a mindful eater, and like Brett said, I'm more of an intuitive eater. I've tried all kinds of diet, medication, surgeries, everything, and none of that really helped me. But it was when I said, okay, I need to focus on me and what is good for me. That's when I felt the best, and I could have energy. I used to have ankle pain, and that decreased tremendously. Like I couldn't go walking for more than 15 minutes before I was limping because of the pain on my right ankle. And now I've been able to run. So I used to, you used to think, I used to think zero fat, everything, zero sugar. It's like, what do you eat? And so I eliminated a lot of fat because people used to say fat is bad for you. It's going to increase your cholesterol. Now, I have not done any blood work or anything like that. I do want to do that. But, at some point, financially, it's just, kind of expensive, and I don't have insurance at the moment. But I will run some tests at some point. But I have to trust my instinct and myself and the way that I am feeling, and the fact that that was decreased. Now, the pain was decreased is just amazing. It's enough for me to say I'm gonna stay. But the reason why I didn't stay there is because I do like other foods. I wanted to have other things. I wanted to have cheese. I even tried to include some bread back in, and then I started to feel the pain, and so then I went back to decrease the pain. I tried to add some vegetables. I was having some digestive issues, so then I had to eliminate them. But because my body knows these vegetables and breads and things like that, I'm
Don't
not.
serve you well. You know.
They right. I like them, but they don't serve me well. So I had to realize, this is what I need to eat, but I'm not religious about it. And what I don't like about diets and different communities is that generally, if you are carnivore and you don't do it a specific way, they will
Crucified.
crucify. They will. I don't want to use the word crucify. They will murder you, your reputation. If you're a vegan and you slipped up and you had some fish or some meat, or if you are a vegetarian and you. So I don't want to label myself into any diet, and this is where mindful eating came in. And I love the way that I am feeling, but even then I'm not religious about it. And so, like, if one day I decide to have bread, I will have bread knowing that it might affect me.
And I think the mindful eating allows flexibility, allows your journey to change,
Right.
because we're always changing.
Because we're
right?
always changing.
I started the calorie counting because I wanted weight loss, and I've achieved weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to still keep calorie counting, but in the process of achieving weight loss, my body has changed a little bit and is craving some healthier foods. I not eating just junk food all the time or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
My body is looking for smoothies instead of ice cream at
Mm-hmm.
night for dessert, or
Which is a big deal.
salads at lunch instead of I don't know, only meats or processed foods. So it is a big deal,
Yeah.
and I'm able to not, like you said, be so strict in either cutting things or not cutting things. I can just continually adapt and don't have to worry about sticking to a diet.
Right. So Exactly. But now, for me, some people may say, well, you're on a diet because you are restricting. You're not. For me, that's not restricting. For me, that's mindful. I'm listening to my body and what is good for me. So that's what's mindful about it. The benefit that I have seen during this year, this fast, is that I don't count calories because I counted calories for many years, and for me that's restrictive. And what I found is was the last year that I counted calories, I was over all the time. I was over, and that was messing with my head.
Mm.
Where I was just like, I can't count, and I don't know at one point from that to me going to carnivore, but in carnivore it's like eat whatever you want because you can't overeat protein. You try to overeat, you can eat meat in excess. I mean, at some point you're just going to feel so full you're going to stop. Whereas you can eat all this other junk food that is not necessarily nutrient dense and continue to eat. And I've experienced that because I've done mindless eating at night. I've
Yeah,
binged and overate
for
so
sure.
much at night. Like I've gone to the movies and we get this big old bucket and we're eating, and it's like it's not
For
satisfying
sure,
us.
for sure. And again, we want you to find what works best
What?
for you. The
Yes,
reason calorie
absolutely.
counting works for me,
And
even
I
though it
love
doesn't
that
work
it
for
works for
her,
him.
is for me to not eat obscene
Yeah.
amounts of food. Like
Hmm.
that's where the weight gain came from. The body doesn't need that many calories.
Right.
I don't consider it diet restrictive because I'm still eating potentially Kit Kats or Reese's or Snickers or ice cream or donuts or all these things, but in portion and moderation to
Mhm.
the rest of the food I'm eating throughout the day. And I may only have a coffee for breakfast to save a bunch of calories for dinner so that I go to bed feeling full. So again, it's what works for me.
Yeah, and I'm not advocating not counting calories because I counted calories for so long. I have an idea of how much I'm eating. So, like in my head, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm obviously not trying to eat 3, 4, 5,000 calories to the point that I get on the scale and I gain weight. I know where the problem is. I need to decrease my calories. So, I am not discounting the benefits of tracking your calories, and I think it is beneficial for some people, for many people or everyone, to start tracking their calories to see where their food is going, like where are they taking, their food is coming from rather than where it's going.
Sorry, and an important point about tracking with the mindful eating journal that we have linked below that you get for free, not just calories, but what are you eating? Why are you eating it? How
Correct.
are you feeling when you're
Yeah,
eating it? How does it make you feel after you eat it?
exactly.
Because a lot of foods promise you that I'm going to feel so good if I eat this pizza, if I eat this giant bowl of ice cream,
Mhm.
if I binge on this, and then
This bucket of
afterwards,
popcorn at the movies.
you feel terrible, right? So if you journal that, it's going to help you to
Yeah.
not do that the next time when that lie pops in your head promising you that this is going to feel good, and then afterwards you realize you feel like junk.
Exactly. So that's what I've learned, going back to what I've learned in the 9 days, in these 9 days, is that I can decrease my food. Now, I have been about the same weight for about a year and a half or so, give or take 5 pounds up, 5 pounds down. And I'm very happy that I have been able to maintain without starving, because there was a time where I was counting calories where I was just like, I'm so hungry.
Mm.
I'm starving. I just can't. And that's why I kept going over my calories. When I went carnivore, I felt satisfied. I'm eating full fat butter, I'm eating full fat meat. And now, again, I don't recommend that you eat the way that I eat. But if you're specifically, if you're a woman and you are struggling with starvation, where you are feeling like that, you may want to increase your fat intake because it is satiating. You may want to increase your protein intake because it is satiating. So don't be scared to eat whole fat. If you want to count calories, do count what you are consuming, but you may want to steer away from the fat-free stuff. Now, I'm not a professional. I've done just this is just research that I have done. You'll have to do your own research. So don't take my word for it. Just take this is just my personal experience. And um did you want to say something
I
else?
did, and then I forgot what I was going to say.
Until you remember. Yeah, and another one of the boundaries that I have had through this fast, I stopped eating after 5. That's been going on for about a year. I'm still doing that during the
I
fast.
do remember. So, for anyone who is struggling with food potentially, the fast is such a good way, I think, to kickstart,
Jumpstart.
yeah, kickstart something new for you because
Yeah.
I didn't think I could do it. I
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe I was going to get 3 days in and have to quit this fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got to 7 days, I thought maybe I'm going to be able to get to 7, but then have to quit. We're at 9, going on 10. I know I'm going to be able to make it through this fast. So
Mm-hmm.
I am defeating all those lies that told me I couldn't do it and I had to eat and I had to eat. So if that's you, I recommend a fast to help you break off the lies that this food has control over us and that we need it and we have to have it and there is no way around it.
what
Not
kind
true.
what kind of fast could you do, right? We don't what we have is a journal with prompting questions to help you ask why you're eating, what you're eating, when you are eating it, to get to the emotional aspect of it. Because you can try whatever diet, but if you don't address the emotional reasons why you are mindlessly eating, it doesn't matter what diet you do, all of these things are going to come up. In one of the videos I was sharing a cup that you are just stuffing emotions and food,
Hmm.
emotions and food, emotions and food. And unless you address those emotions, you're going to continue putting food to suppress those emotions. So you want to, first of all, emotionally, you want to address those emotions so you don't continue suppressing them. And physically, maybe you have some physical issues. If you continue to put food in there, you're not going to know what those issues are. So fasting can help you realize what those physical issues might be, which is what happened in my case. I eliminated every food group except meat, and then I saw benefits, and then I started to add little by little, and I realized what wasn't working, and then I eliminated those foods. Whereas bread started to decrease how much, he started to count the calories, and so he realized, what, I can live with less. And he started to see benefits in his physical health, or weight
Yeah.
management, which is where he wanted. But what do you want to fast? Maybe you don't want to do 21 days. Maybe you want to start with, I'm gonna fast evenings, or like Brett does, he usually fasts in the morning. Like, he doesn't eat any breakfast because he likes to generally eat late at night. Excuse me. Maybe you want to have a window. There's intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting didn't work for me because it was a restrictive mentality. Oh my gosh, it's this time I have to eat before my time is up, or it's this time I have to eat, now I can eat everything. And believe it or not, I say 5 o'clock, but it's really after dinner time that I don't eat anything, usually 5 or 6, give or take. I don't eat anything. That helps me because it doesn't matter what time in the morning I eat. And so sometimes I'll have brunch, sometimes I'll have dinner, but the thing is, I don't like to go to bed full. So maybe that's something you want to try. Maybe you like to
I'm
go
the
to
opposite. I love to go to
maybe
bed
you
full.
want to go to bed full, so you want to just eat your calories in the evening and not eat during the day. Or maybe you want to do a 7 day food solid food fast, like fasting from solid foods, which is what we're doing. And we're having some soups, broth, we're blending soup so that we can have some, liquids. We're basically fasting from chewing. Even though I'm chewing gum, technically speaking, I was like, am I breaking my fast? I'm not
But
sure.
it's still not just
But
chewing
I'm not,
because we're not having meat, we're not having
like,
cheese, we're
exactly,
not
we're
having so
exactly
many different
exactly
things we're not having.
right, exactly. So
Although soon we'll tell you who slipped
that's that time I slipped up. I
up.
slipped up. I slipped up. Okay, I am premenopausal. I am PMSing, and I was talking about how good I was doing, and all of a sudden, I am about to get in the shower, and I was overcome with that desire. I went to the fridge, and I just rebelled, and I grabbed that chocolate, and I tasted it. I ate it. It was so good. Oh my God, I could not believe it. I felt so guilty, and this is the good thing about having a community, because you are accountable to your community. And the fact that I am doing this fast publicly, I was like, I have to confess. I can't just lie and not say that this happened. So that's why you want to join a community. You want to do this with a group of people where you're checking in and you are sharing your progress, because that's what's going to help you stay accountable. And the fact that I had to confess to him, because we're doing this together, and I had to share, I shared it on our story on Instagram. And if you're not following us there, go there and follow us, because that's where we share progress. Like the stories is where we share what we eat,
Or ideas of our meals.
and
Yeah.
ideas of our meals and things like that. But I shared it on my story yesterday, and said, look, I failed. I had chocolate. I had to let you know. But the physical, the spiritual benefit that I learned as a believer that I am, is that in life we are going to stumble. And in the same way that I was like, I failed and I had that, and I was like, okay, I had it. And then I talked to him about it. I explained to him what happened. And I said, I am not quitting. I am going to continue tomorrow. I'm going to get right back on it. And I not only did I fail and stumble to have chocolate, I had it like right before bedtime, which is not what I enjoy doing. And this morning I paid
Paid
for
the
it.
price.
I was feeling very tired. I couldn't get out of bed. I got out of bed. I did my prayer in the morning, which we do at 7 in the morning for the other channel for during the time of the fast. And then I went back to sleep to
This
rest.
was an example of a lie that she fell for that
Yep.
promised she was going to feel good, and
And
instead
it
it did the
did the
opposite.
opposite.
And
Exactly.
this also an example of mindful eating over dieting. If this was a diet, and the diet was you can't have any chocolate, you can't have, and then she slipped up and had a little chocolate, the diet mentality is like, oh, well, I already slipped up. I might as well keep eating chocolate, and this diet's over with, and tomorrow I'm going to keep eating chocolate and all this stuff. No, with our lifestyle of mindful eating, if you slip, it's not that big of a setback. You just get right back on it. So even with this fast,
Mm-hmm.
having a bit of chocolate only once out of 21 days is not going to derail the fast. No, you confess it, you get it out there publicly, you don't hide in shame and guilt, and you move right on back to where you were.
Exactly.
And so it's still very, you know, it's again amazing testament. Yes, it happened, but it happened 8 days in, and there's still, 12, 13 days to go after that. Today, now 12 days. So, there is still plenty of benefits.
Yep.
Don't let anything derail you.
Oh, I want to say I still lost a pound from yesterday, even though I had that chocolate. So, and yesterday was one of those days where I've been having, just like today, I just had the soup. I didn't coffee, and usually I do have about two coffees a day. But like yesterday, I had the soup, and then I had a shake, and then I had the coffee, and then I had chocolate milk. Like I had more yesterday because I was really struggling. Like my body was just craving all this, and I could not. I also think that one of the mistakes I did was I was not spending as much time with God. I wasn't going to God first.
Mm.
And I should be going to God first. When I have those cravings, God, why am I having those cravings? And I know why I was having them. I was feeling stressed because of a spiritual challenge that I had the day before. I had a personal challenge, something that was challenging my life, and I was struggling. And between the PMS and the premenopause and all of that, it just accumulated into one day. And instead of going to God, I was sulking in my own pity party, and I celebrated by having chocolate. And then I went to bread and we prayed about it and talked about it. So, you know, I basically decided, you know what? It's okay. I am not going to point fingers at myself, and I'm not going to put myself down. I am going to do what I would do for someone else. If you came to me and you said to me, I slipped up, I would say, it's okay. This you know, dust yourself up and go the next day. And so I was honestly, when I weighed myself, I wasn't going to weigh myself, and I was just going to avoid it altogether. And then I was like, you know what? I want to know. I want to know. Because I believe that when you do very good, if you have one slip up day, it is not going to set you back. That's my theory. I believe a lot of people in the health community, the food community, can say the same thing. The problem comes when that is every single day, mindless eating after mindless eating after mindless eating. But when you are mindful daily, if you have one slip up, you are not going to be set back. And when you develop the self control, when you develop the determination, that is going to also not set you back physically,
The,
psychologically speaking.
the mindset, we're talking about mindful eating. The mindset is so important. So when I
Yeah.
fell back into emotional eating,
Hmm.
it was a continual cycle of more
Right.
than a year of
Right.
saying, I feel like junk mentally.
Right.
Instead of dealing with that, I'm going to go get food to make me feel better.
Right.
Food didn't make me feel better because I wasn't dealing with the emotional problems that I was having.
Hmm.
But as soon as that good feeling from the food wore off, I had to go get another food to feel better.
Right.
So my mindless eating went from, okay, I want donuts. All right, the donuts are gone. Now I want lunch. Let me get a big sub. Okay, that's got. Now I want dinner. Let me get a pizza.
Hmm.
And the promise is that you're going to feel better. The problem is you wake up a year later 40, 50 pounds heavier and you are miserable.
Right.
And it never made you feel better.
Exactly.
So it was a lie all along. So we have to break the lies that we're
Right.
telling ourselves that all of this food is making us feel better when instead we're not in a healthy way dealing with our emotions,
Right.
finding a way to eat that is good for our body, our temple,
Hmm.
and that we're creating health problems. And we're not body shaming, we're not doing anything
No,
that
no,
we're
not at all.
there are just
Not at all.
facts that you can damage your body, your organs, everything
Right.
from certain ways of eating. You can develop diabetes, you can have all kinds of
High
things.
blood
We've had family
pressure.
members that have
Yeah.
passed away from diabetes and obesity and other types of things.
Hmm.
Like, yes, high blood pressure, all these things, and then they want to give you all these medications that have all these side effects.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you straight up, my goal is not to lose weight. I would like to lose weight. And according to the BMI, I am obese. I am 5'7", and I am 176 pounds today. I should be, to be at a okay healthy weight, 160 pounds. So I am 16 pounds overweight. According to be, I think I should be at like 130 to be. I forgot the number on the chart, the name of the chart of the BMI. So I'm not ashamed to say it.
looks amazing.
I'm not ashamed to say that I am 176 and that I was at 180. I was up to a 215. Now, I did not like when I was at 215. I was out of breath. I was fatigued all the time. I was tired. And 180 is a good weight for me. Could I lose? Sure, I can lose, but I am not going to starve myself to 160. I'm going to do it gradually. And intuitive speaking, I read a book, and I need to find the book that I read. But if you intuitively eat, your body will naturally go to the weight that it will need to be, or whatever your weight is. I've seen this in my mom. I've seen this in other people.
I want to just say out there for the guys, and I
Yeah.
guess for the ladies too, but I'm over 50. I'm
Mhm.
51 going on 52. My heaviest 4 years ago had gotten up to 260,
Mhm.
had lost the weight, then had the emotional eating slide where gained almost all of it back. So May of this year, I was back up to 250.
Mhm.
Now, prior to the fast, I had gotten down to 224.
Mhm.
And now with the fast, I've hit as low as 216 so far. But for guys, again, like, we don't have the testosterone we had when we were younger. It is easier for us to lose weight than women. We carry less body fat in general. But, it's possible with the calorie counting, even over 50, to lose a couple pounds a week and still be eating things you love and not be cutting out. Again, in that 25-pound loss I did in the last 5 months or whatever, I was still having ice cream and candy bars and other things like almost daily,
Mhm.
cookies and everything, donut, like all that kind of stuff, and still losing weight. But I was diligent with the calorie counting. And I
Right.
was diligent that if I went over my calories, I'm going to the gym or running around the block and burning the extra calories off so that I could keep seeing progress.
Right.
So they're just different
There
ways.
are different ways. And, for me, maintaining my weight for the past, close to 2 years is a big deal because I would gain weight and then I would go on a extreme diet, or I would go on, like, I used to take phentermine a lot. And I was like, at some point, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not sustainable. My heart is not going to be able to tolerate this kind of medication for the rest of my life. And there was those fears. And so, the fact that I would lose the weight and then I would gain it and lose, and I was just in this yo-yo. And I was like, you know what, I just need to have a healthy relationship with food and learn my hunger and fullness cues and feed it the right way and stop when I know that I'm full. So I thank God for that. Yesterday when I had the chocolate, I didn't overdo it. I had 2 servings, and that was it. You know what I mean? In the past, I literally took the bag with me to the bedroom because I was like, I had this. I'm just gonna finish
She
it,
didn't
and I
tell me
can
that.
show you that I put the bag back.
She
I
didn't tell me
did
that.
not finish it. I was like, I already had it. But I was like, no, I had enough. I don't have to
It's
eat any more
it's a good
chocolate. I
point.
was good.
With that
I had what I had, and that was
with
it.
that restrictive diet mentality, like I remember if I allowed myself to have something, I wanted to have a giant portion of it because I didn't know when I was going to be allowed to have it again, and you
Hmm.
overeat it.
Right.
So prior to calorie counting, if I wanted Doritos, I'm buying the family size, and I'm going to
Hmm.
sit down and potentially eat that entire bag, right?
Hmm.
If I want cereal, I'm getting out a mixing bowl and pouring almost a whole box of cereal in it and eating the whole thing.
Right.
Now, if I get a craving for Cheetos or something like that, I'm buying the little 2 for 50 cent bag at the store and eating
Yeah.
140
I'm
calories of it.
so glad because I used to tell him, please don't buy the big bags.
Right.
Please. I'm
But
like,
so I can get my Cheetos
yeah.
fix for 140 calories, not for 1,000 or 1,500 calories of the whole bag.
Yeah.
And so there are still ways to have what you want, but not have
And
that mentality. I'm never going to have it again. My mentality is I'm going to have it every single day. I'm
yeah,
just going to have 100 calories of it.
we've gone 31 minutes. I think we
Oh,
need
wow.
to find a way to stop. But I just want to say, like, what you're listening is an answered prayer. But he was not there a year ago.
No.
Okay. And I was, and I had to say, I am going to go on this journey whether he comes with me or not. And he eventually joined me. Can you do this if you are the only one? Yes, you can. Even if you are the only person who wants to take control of your health in your house, you can 100% do it. You just have to figure out what boundaries you need to set to protect what goals you want to set and the lifestyle that you want to build. And we can help you with that. If you want to give us a call and you want to schedule a call with us, we can walk with you through your situation and give you some ideas to help you figure out how you can set your boundaries and begin this, whether you're the only one that eats this way or not, or whether you're the only one on that mindful eating journey.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'm gonna just let him today because he's so pumped up and talking so much. I'm so excited to finish with a prayer, and then we're gonna just let you go.
Yeah. God, we thank you so much for anyone who's watching this now or in the future that is struggling with eating habits or is interested in fasting or is struggling with any type of addiction, really, that they are able to go on a journey of mindful eating, go on a journey of fasting, discover the power that they have within themselves to develop the fruit of self control, to develop a healthy relationship with food, to be able to apply mindfulness to their eating of what they eat, when they eat, how it's making them feel, and that they come out the other side a happier person, a healthier person, achieving the goals that they want with their body, with their mind, in relationship to food. We also just pray for anyone who doesn't know you, that they would just seek you, ask you to come meet them and introduce yourself to them, and how much you love them and their lives. And we value and cherish each and every person out there. We bless you. We we look forward to seeing you again. And if you have any questions, reach out.
Yes, in
And
Jesus' name,
in
amen.
Jesus' name,
We're going to be at 7 o'clock in the morning on the other channel, Influence for Purpose. All the information is in the description box. Make sure that if you're not already subscribed and you enjoyed and liked what you see, that you subscribe and you click the notification bell so that you can know when we are coming live. We are doing this at different times because of our schedule, but we are going to come daily for the next 21 days. And we are going to give you the tea of everything that we go through. So, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.